Welcome back to Glow Up or Get Out. I am half of the podcast, Mel.
I'm the other half, Sam.
Hi guys, what's up? Today we are bringing you an episode kind of sad, kind of desperate.
It's just like sadness, but like we're
trying
gonna try and make it positive.
Right, we're trying to turn our sadness into something light.
Yes.
But anyway, if you're feeling kind of lost, kind of like our episode of like being in a rut, let's just say the rut hasn't stopped fully.
It did for a sec, and then it came back.
Right, but we're feeling some type of way. But if you feel like you can
we should
ride
go back
along
to the rut episode.
and
Or
listen,
personally, like we should.
yeah, we should do
our own
that.
advice.
Definitely.
You should do that too. My week has been a shit show. Which that's what the podcast is about, right? The shit show that is our 20s. Right. So we were sick last week.
Yeah. I was like getting over the hump of being sick,
Mm-hmm.
sounding like Maddie apparently.
Yeah, she sounds like Maddie in
Demi.
last week's episode. I'm telling you guys, you should listen. But yeah, I have strep throat.
Yep.
Yes, I'm on like day 3 of antibiotics, so don't worry, I feel a lot better. I felt literally better after the first dose. I was like, okay, magic.
Yeah, dude, like the day you got sick, you were like, I can't talk.
I can't talk on the phone.
And then the next day you're like, no, I'm fine, you can call me. And I'm like,
Girl,
what?
It was magic. It was great. Yeah, but we're good. I'm all good. Don't ask me how I got it, because I really don't know, honestly. And I was like, I had congestion before that. I don't think you have strep throat without the throat part for days on end. So
No.
I definitely caught it later in that situation.
Maybe it's just like whatever you got first, like brought up the strep throat. Like, maybe
Well,
when
maybe
you get
I-
a cold, like.
And maybe I didn't finish my antibiotics the last time I had strep throat.
Oh.
I just think you should have. I don't know,
I think you
but
did,
maybe.
though. I think I remember that being a thing.
Maybe. Yeah, so work-wise, it's been real stressful, real fun, really exciting. We love coding. Love our clients, but hate coding.
Yeah, I think we realized that we're like not about that. It was let's say like really accomplishing to like figure out a thing that happened on the website or whatever we're doing. But at the end of the day, it's just like not fun.
I think if we had gotten paid like 10 times what we asked,
I'd be like,
it would have been so worth it.
So worth it.
I don't know, it's just been like,
It's been moving.
week. That's how I feel.
Eh.
Yeah. Trying to be positive, but how was your week?
I feel like I'm not necessarily sick anymore, but I do feel like congested sometimes. So along those lines, like I feel a lot better. This week was really stressful. It was not fun necessarily, not the worst week of my life either, I would say, but like also just, I don't know, you being sick though, like made me be at home more. And this was like kind of, I feel, okay, so like when I lived in Seattle, I feel like I had a lot of alone time because Logan would go out to work and I'd be home for like hours on end. I would like occasionally go out to a coffee shop and work, but I was usually just like at home. And I feel like I got like some of that feeling back when I was like working at home this week, but it like was different. Like I didn't feel so like sad or alone, you know? Like I actually felt like at home and I felt like I could be there all day, you know? The week was fine. Excited for next week. I don't know what's gonna come, but
I'm feeling positive about next week. I mean, that's basically what this episode's about. How shitty our week was, kind of. Not shitty, but just like... Okay, wait. I told you I was going to read you what I was going to post on Instagram, and then I didn't.
read it now. It's a good time.
It's so depressing. I said I haven't felt hopeless in a while, like over a year now, but today, man, today hit different. It felt like it was all about to come crumbling down. Despite it all, I got an indoor and outdoor workout in. I had to remind myself who the fuck I am. It's not like super depressing, but like I genuinely was like on my walk outside, and I was just like, wow, like I literally feel despair. Like, I feel it. And I remember the last time I felt it was when you were at the Koreatown apartment. I don't know if we had no clients at the time or what was going on, but I was driving to your house at night. I don't know what it was for. It was some party or something with someone who shall not be named. And I literally was gonna start crying in the car. I was like, I feel so lost in my life right now. I was like, I feel like my family's blowing up. I feel like nothing's making sense. I feel like just like fucking lost. And they were nice or whatever. And I was just like, I haven't felt that way in a while. And it wasn't as bad. Like, I wasn't gonna break down and cry yesterday. I literally wanted to cry, but laughing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, this is fucking hysterical how
like,
fucking
this
sad I
is
am.
fucked up, but it's funny as hell.
Yeah. And I was like, what a beautiful thing to, like, realize that, one, I made it out of that moment and, like, found something to be excited about, which is probably why it wasn't so bad yesterday when I felt it, because I was like, you're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, regardless. And yeah, that's just how I was feeling yesterday. I was like, I just want to fucking give up. But I'm not gonna. And by not giving up, we accomplished shit, so.
Absolutely. Yeah, I guess we kind of, like, got into it already.
Yeah.
Welcome to the episode. I think that feeling that you're talking about was, like, very prevalent in our life last year around, like, I guess this time-ish. I don't remember when we got, like, that big client that we got, but
yeah,
I remember right before that, I feel like I had a lot of days where I just would wake up and be like, what the fuck is the point? Like, what am I doing? But then, you know, shit always happens. Something changes. Something is always moving for you. Yeah, but we're right back there. I love how this episode is just going to be, like, me giving you a little bit of positivity, like excitement, and then just like bring it back down because that's how I feel. But I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, that it's like how I feel. I just feel it's weird. It's like an overwhelming feeling of having so many ideas but having no idea what to do with any of them, or like which one to execute, how to execute it, if I should just fucking and do it, or should I be meticulous and launch something like super crazy massive and it's all planned out? Like, there's just so
much. I think it's like,
and I think it's the problem, maybe. Let me just reach. Maybe we're just like, and there's like, I guess maybe there could be a few problems, but like, maybe like the main problem is like we're just so focused on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Overthinking it.
I guess that's a good point. I feel like it's the fact that like there's too much thinking and not enough like execution. Executing. But yeah, I think it's like definitely about like the overthinking and like the like over planning kind of situation instead of like executing and just doing the fuck whatever we want to do. You know, I think like we are extremely planner oriented, so it's difficult for us to like not necessarily like to do something without a full plan,
which is ironic
because it gives us anxiety.
The 2 things we've launched, we've done just that. We just do it.
But I think we need to remember that like nothing's gonna be perfect, and
yeah,
sometimes like you just, I mean, kind of like our fucking career, like we're just figuring it out as we go, like, and that's never gonna really change. I don't know, we're gonna fail regardless, so it's like might as well just fucking try it.
And I think it's also nice to know other people feel that way, even if they're not in the same boat, like they're not entrepreneurs or whatever, they're just like working a job that they hate or that they feel like they're not going to move forward in. It's like, oh, so we're in this together, we're all lost. Or when you see someone in their dream job doing exactly what they want, you're like, fuck, like we can get there, like I see it, I can fucking feel it. But I mean, it's not all about job, I guess. But I mean
I feel like a big part of it is though, because like it's,
well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know what else I'm talking about. I'm like, relationships, talk about relationships real quick. No, let's not. It's a whole nother topic, folks.
I think a big problem or a big issue, I don't want to call it like necessarily like a problem, but I definitely feel like being so young but also like kind of old like makes you feel like you're losing time so quickly, and in that, like, you feel like you have no room to, like, change your path almost. And a lot of the time, like, we don't like the same things that we liked fucking 5 years ago when we were a completely different person, you know? Yeah. And, like, in a completely space in our life. And now it's, like, when we are still executing the same things that no longer, like, give us fucking joy. But then it's kind of, it's like the end of the fucking road and you're still trying to push through.
30-year-olds are listening to this like, I hate you.
They're like, you have no clue.
They're like, shut up, I hate you right now.
I don't know, I definitely feel like, and I could be wrong, you know, later in life I might fucking say you're an idiot for saying this, but I definitely feel like being an early adult is like a really difficult stage to be in your life.
Early adult?
Yeah, like a young adult, like an early.
You just mean this part of our life?
Like this part of our life.
I thought
like
you
in
meant
our
like
20s is fucking difficult.
Becoming an adult, like
Mm,
early
well,
in life, like at 14 or something.
I don't know that
Anyways,
too, but like
I mean, correct, yeah.
I think just being like in your 20s is really difficult.
Yeah, I think everyone would agree with that.
Because you feel grown and you feel like semi-independent and you're trying your best to like get yourself to a spot where you feel like you've done it. And especially with the fucking pressures of like the internet these
Everyone
days. It's
else.
so hard because you're seeing it every single fucking day of your life. Like you can't get it out of your brain that you're like falling behind.
And everyone's established in some way and you're like,
yeah, it's just fucked up. So I don't know, being in your 20s during this fucking era is really difficult.
yeah. I was gonna say, when you're talking about like being young, I was just having a conversation with my brother and sister, and my brother was just like, damn, like the youth is really wasted on the young, like the saying. And I was talking about like my niece and nephew probably think that like I have my life together, because when I was growing up and I was like 10 years old and my brother would be at my birthday parties or whatever, I'm like, oh, he's an adult, like he's got his stuff together. Like, he knows exactly what he's doing. He has a job. He's on the path he's supposed to be on. Like, cool. Like, you have no idea what being an adult looks like when you're a kid. And I just think about my niece and nephew looking up at me and my sister and even my brother. Like, not to say that he's not a perfect person, but nobody is. That, like, oh, like, these are my safe people. And, like, nothing bad is ever going to happen to them or me because of them or whatever.
Yeah.
Which, like, obviously in actual safety, yes, of course. But, like, safe as in, like, they're never gonna lose their job. Like, it's things they just never think about. Like, it's crazy. And that's just what being an adult is, and I hate it.
Yeah, I definitely can relate to the fact that, like, I used to look up at my cousins or, like, even my brothers and, like, seeing them go through their life. I was like, damn, like, being an adult is, like, when you turn a certain age, but it's, like, it obviously is much more than that, but when you're a kid, that's all you can really see. So, yeah, that saying of, like, the youth is wasted on the young. I feel like that's so fucking true. When you're a kid, not only don't you, like, realize the real life situations, but also like nothing is like stopping you from believing anything. Like you believe yourself, like you believe everything that you do is like possible and true.
Or even if you're scared to do something, like it's different, you know what I mean?
There's like a freeing aspect to it, and
like as a kid, when you're scared to do something, you're just scared of like the direct result of it. Like, I don't know, jumping off the swing, you know? Like, you're just scared to jump off the swing. You're not thinking, like, I'm going to break my leg, and then I have to pay insurance, and then I have to pay for the fucking cast, and then I'm going to be whatever. Like, as an adult, you think about, like, everything that could possibly go wrong. But as a kid, you're just like, I just roll with the punches, kind of. Like, what's handed to me, I take.
Also, there's just, like, such a, like, emotional aspect of it that, like, I don't feel like a lot of us ever get back, you know, when we're like actually just feeling free in ourselves. And although we like don't really know who we are at that point, it's very much so freeing because you're still figuring it out, which like that never stops.
Yeah,
you know, like you're gonna continue to do that, and that's fucking life. But it's a lot easier to do it when you're a kid because you're just like fucking open to everything. And now like you have a certain type of identity that's like linked to you, and like you're trying to keep that appearance or that like those things behind that identity up and running when in reality like sometimes you don't even want to fucking identify with that shit anymore. Like but you can't let yourself free, you know.
I don't even know how we got here, but
I don't know either, but losing passion.
It's just my dad was telling, okay, back to this being young idea one more time. My dad was telling me that literally last night in high school when they graduated, I don't know if it was like their graduation night or something, like the day they graduated, he said like a group of his friends and whatever, they decided to, I don't know if it was like a sleepover situation. Shit was co-ed. Interesting. Mm-hmm. It was like a sleepover thing. And at 3 a.m, they all woke up and said, like, let's go to Huntington Beach and watch the sunrise together. I was like, why is that, like, such a core memory? Like, that's so cute. So they all drove to Huntington Beach. It was, like, an hour drive. So by the time they got there, they probably waited, like, an hour for the sun to rise. And they all just sat and watched the sunrise at the beach and stayed there for a while and then went to Denny's after. I'm like, to be that free again. Like, just to go be like, dude. Like, if I woke up Mal at 3 a.m, I'm like, hey, let's go watch the sunrise at the beach. Like, you'd be like,
fuck up, bitch. I don't know, man. I have like a core memory like that too, where 3 of my friends? Yeah, it was 3 of us. There was 4 of us, and we decided to drive to the beach at like, I think it was like 2 or 3 a.m.
Uh-huh.
And we got in the water like the fucking...
Oh my god, you guys are... You're crazy.
Yeah,
I never would have
dude.
thought you would do that at night.
We got in the water and the tide was like really pulled back. So there was like a lot of space. And we were like, wow, what time is this shit gonna like come up? And
yeah,
it was not for a while. So we ended up like all falling asleep together, like literally huddled. And then we woke up when the sun
so Tumblr
rose. Yeah,
that is beautiful.
I don't know, but like stuff like that, I can't imagine myself doing those things anymore. But like I'm envious of that person that I used to be, because it was so freeing. And like, although I was probably thinking that I was like really going through it at that time, which I was, I'm not going to discredit little old me, but I don't know, girl, it got worse.
No.
It got worse. And I don't know, I really wish like I could not necessarily like go back and change anything, but just like feel it again. Almost.
But that's like the beauty of the moment, like that you can't relive it. Okay, but like we're still young enough. Even like I told my dad, I was like, you should do something spontaneous with mom. Like just do something spontaneous. Like that's the feeling you want. I feel like your whole life is about the spontaneity, like the quick decisions you make and the people you meet and like whatever. Like obviously don't be that person who's like risky, like jumping off the roof into the pool person without thought. Not like that, but like just spontaneity. It's very
just crazy
being a
like,
wallflower.
I think it's just definitely like a discipline or like a certain type of practice that like you have to do to really feel in the moment, because I feel like I felt in the moment at those times,
right?
But now looking back, I'm like I wasn't doing enough. Like I wasn't doing enough in feeling present and like actually,
you think,
savoring the moment. But then again, like I remember it, so is that enough? You know,
what more would you have wanted? Like,
I don't know. I guess I don't know.
Like to sit there and be like, I'm appreciating this moment. Girl, 17-year-old, you ain't gonna do that.
I wish you did, you know?
But you still appreciated the moment.
I'm just scared that like now if I have one of those moments, like I won't appreciate it, and then I'm gonna do the same thing over and over and over again, and then like have a life full of not regret, but just like wishing that I would have like soaked it all in, you know?
Okay, I feel you. I feel like I do that.
Discipline or like a practice of like,
I feel like I do that when
present.
I feel like I'm having a core memory moment. I like sit in it.
I do that too, but then I'm like, is it? I don't know if it's enough.
What else are you gonna?
I guess not.
What are you gonna yell? This is a core memory. I love you all.
I don't know. That's true. Maybe I'm just like
no, I get you,
overthinking it. I guess maybe there's not enough like spontaneity in my life right now.
Maybe that's what we need for the passion to come back. Spontaneity, which is why we're gonna do something fun tomorrow and spontaneous. Don't know what, but it'll be fun. But like with like losing your passions, going back. Yeah.
How do you feel like you've dealt with it?
Good question. Wanting to go back to therapy is how I've dealt with it. Just kidding. I mean, it's like I didn't lose my passions. Like I didn't lose the things I'm passionate about. I just lost the passion I have for my passions currently because they're overwhelming me.
Do you think it's something that can come up again?
Yeah. I think it's kind of just like a rut. I feel like it's...
So you don't feel the need to like
explore a new passion.
The passion. It's just like you want to have the feelings come back up for the passion?
Well, I'm open to both. Like, I don't think I'm not passionate about photography or marketing or design or cooking or baking. I feel like maybe it's just I got to a place where it wasn't about the passion anymore.
Yeah.
And it was more about money or making it look right or doing this right or the, you know, like everything that comes with being in a business. Like you just lose the luster of it all. Like it's just bland. It's gross after a while. So yeah, I don't think I don't like those things anymore or that I'm not passionate about them, but I'm also open to finding new passions. Like, yeah, like I'm open to seeing if there's more thrifting, like whatever. I don't know. Do you feel like you're like on to the next
like
passions?
Clocked out? I wouldn't, like, I think you're right in the sense that like I don't necessarily not like those things anymore. I think it's just like the pressure or like the aspect of like having to do it in a way that doesn't feel authentic to me. Mm-hmm. Or like, no, does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I get you.
Like it's difficult to work for people because then you would like have to meet their expectation of what creativity is or like their expectation of what looks good, and so that's the difficult part in my, like, you know. And I think that it's fine. Like, I mean, everyone can do something that they don't necessarily like love all the time, but it just, I don't know, it got to a point where it was just about the pressure and no longer about the actual, like, I don't say art form, but like, you know, like the actual passion of it anymore. It just became about the pressure to please at this point. So yeah, but I definitely feel like for example, I don't feel necessarily like super passionate about social media anymore.
Yeah.
But I still appreciate the platforms that exist.
I feel like we just need to like nicheify ourselves and like just take a shit ton of content that we think is fun and creative and we enjoy making. And then once that's our portfolio, we're like, this is what we do. And if you don't like this kind of content, then
move along.
Move it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, I feel like our portfolio is a lot of what other brands wanted and what they looked like. Because we were just trying to get started, which is fine. But maybe we need to figure out what our look is. Because that's what, like, I'm thinking about a wedding photographer. Like, you hire the wedding photographer because you like their style and their editing. You don't find a wedding photographer and say, this is what I want. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So,
and I guess that comes back to like the passion part of like, is it something, again, like the aspect of like, we started to create stuff that was pleasing for other people and not necessarily something that we liked or were happy with. So I guess that's the problem.
See, look, talking it out just comes up with solutions for us.
I don't want to feel so like annoyed or like not even upset, because it's just like, I guess like kind of like annoyance, or like just like I don't feel, I mean, I have an internal struggle with like the need to feel like good about everything, but also like just having to do something to do it because you need money, or like you need to just like do your job.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I also need to remind myself that like choosing this sort of path has also opened up like the door for me to choose my, like, I guess like that's what we're talking about, like our own like look, our own style, our own feel. And like whoever doesn't want to take it, then that's fine, like move on.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess like that'll like sift through the people who don't want to work with us, and then we don't have to fucking deal with the upsetness or the annoyance or whatever, you know?
Exactly.
But beyond work, I feel like I lost passion for a lot of just like things that I used to like. And I'm not sure if it's because of like a depressive state, or if it's just like an overall like I need to just not do those things anymore. Like they don't, like genuinely don't like bring joy anymore.
Like going out, like dancing.
No, see, like I don't even do those things anymore. So I don't know. I go out, but I don't like go dancing.
But like dancing, you used to dance, like.
Yeah. I feel like honestly that is like a link to a lot of things. So like I feel like if I do that again, it would bring probably so much peace into my life, but I just don't do it. And I don't know why. I think I'm scared too.
Like if it just disappoints you in the end, like you're scared to like do it and then be like, it didn't fix anything.
Being a therapy session.
You're like, dancing didn't fix anything for me. Would you look at that? Yeah. It's okay. Don't feel bad.
All right. Anyway, sorry. I feel like it's just like I'm scared to like fail at that again, almost.
What do you mean again?
Like of like finding passion in something that used to bring me joy and then like no longer feeling it anymore.
I mean, fair, but what's the worst that's gonna happen? Realizing that it's no longer something that brings you joy.
I guess like I'm just scared of like running through all of my options and then ending up with none anymore, you know? Because then I'm like, where do I go from there? Because I have no idea.
It's honestly like the scariest thing, because like at the end of the day, let's say you don't enjoy all the things, whatever this running list is, that you used to love.
Yeah.
There's beauty at the end of that tunnel because you will find whatever it is. There's no way that you could find nothing joy, like can't find joy from anything. Like at the end you will find what it is that is bringing you joy, and then you can do more of that. Do you know what I mean? Like it definitely is a hard pill to swallow, to be like, fuck, like this was so nostalgic for me, like it brought me so much joy back then, and like accepting that now it's just not the same. But like either it could be not the same in a good way, you know, like you find passion in a different form in the same exact activity.
That's true.
I can't even think what the fuck I was passionate about in high school. ASB. I loved being just that bitch.
I mean, that was a lot of creativity. Like that was a lot of creativity put into.
I like being a leader. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot behind that one specific thing that you were doing. You know, there was a lot of like creativity, a lot of like project planning. It was like events. Literally being an ASB is like a project manager.
Yeah. Oh my god, I miss it. But it was like project managing fun stuff.
like prom and whatever, but while also not having to worry about the budget, like in terms of getting the money, or like you were just handed the cards and you were like, cool, I'm gonna do.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess my like event planning
ruins everything.
It really does. Growing up ruins everything. Losing passions, I guess you don't know that you've fully lost them until you try them again in a genuine form.
Yeah.
Because like for us, obviously photography is just part of our job, but
we do it so specifically that it becomes like it's not playful anymore, you know what I mean? Or I guess it is, but it's just different to like what we used to want to do, which like before it was photography of like ourselves and like, you know,
like creating a vision for our own brands, like personal brands or whatever. I feel like, I mean, we're trying to get back there, and I think we still right now, I think it's hard because of time and making time and whatever, that it's harder to be passionate and have fun with those things because we're squeezing it in, you know? But I think
so many other aspects of life that are like prominent, like in the forefront of everything else, that like whenever you have some time for like the passion aspect of life, it's like so exhausting to even start because but I think we just like, I feel like tomorrow is going to be a good day to be like, no pressure, have fun, and like take cute pics if you want, or like make a fun creative reels if you want, like whatever calls to you, snap it, take pics of it, do whatever, because I feel like that's what we like anyways. Like we prefer the more genuine stuff, which like I hate saying content because it's like I don't like saying like I am posting content. I hate saying brand, I hate saying content, like I just want
to,
and this is why like I'm saying like I'm so not passionate about social media anymore, because it's just like it's become so like one way at this point, or like it doesn't work, and it's just,
but maybe that's the key for us, just doing it our way.
I don't want to have to figure things out.
Like I just want someone to tell me what the fuck to do.
I would just like encourage everybody, if you've watched me through my cry fest right now, just do the things that literally make you remember like a certain feeling, a positive feeling. Let's get that straight.
Let's not try
anything negative here. Anything that's healthy and bringing like a positive feeling, just explore it a little bit. And you know, you're not also like get the pressure out of things, because that's definitely what literally like
holds you back.
You know, they say like comparison is a thief of joy. I literally think is like pressure is a thief of joy also. Like, I mean, it's like the same thing, I guess, you know, you're still comparing to someone who's like amazing at something or whatever. So yeah, like stop letting it steal your fucking joy.
Honestly,
just fucking be open to everything. Me too.
Like
incredibly so.
Crazy, because you know, when someone says that, you always relate it to like comparing yourself to like other women or whatever, like wishing I was as beautiful as them or whatever. But like it's really so much deeper than like comparing yourself just in general. Like I should be this, I should be that, they're this, they're that, like they have this, I don't have that. Like there's so much comparison every day.
It also goes like to a deep level of like not even just like they're rich, I wish I was rich. It's just like also like how they move about their life is so specific and special, and I'm not doing that. And it's also just like the larger pressure of like seeing everybody have something to give, something to offer on the fucking internet. Then you feel like, what am I fucking doing? Nothing. I have nothing to give.
Which isn't true.
It's not true. Everyone's experience is so unique and different, but it's just like so hard to like really get yourself to understand that like on an actual level, like
to really believe it,
like a conscious level or a subconscious level, and believe it and like move your life in that way, because like we're still surrounded by all this fucking shit.
I think what's been helping me like on that walk yesterday was like feeling it, like being like, bro, you're in that space again, but being like, but you know what? Like, just trying to turn it in a way that, like, you feel like shit, but, like, you know that you have it in you to do something great, and you don't know what it is, and, like, you're gonna be strong for everyone around you, and you're gonna do you, and, like, it's okay to be sad right now. Like, just let it out, and, like, you're gonna figure it out regardless, but just feel like shit right now, because it is what it is. But I will say having someone to, like... Not that I'm, like, strong for Mel, but, like, it's nice to be like, I know Mel is feeling the exact same way as me right now, so I'm gonna give her words of encouragement because that's what I need too. And, like, if I say it together, then we're, like, united in it. Like, I know this fucking sucks right now, but, like, we got this. Like, we're good.
Yeah.
So, obviously, you don't need a business partner to do that, but...
Just need a nice friend.
A nice friend, or a parent, or a cousin.
Someone to be there for you.
Anyone. Let's try and bring it up in glowing hour.
I have no idea what we're doing, but figure it out.
We'll be drunk, though.
True as hell.
Not drunk. Actually, I don't even know if I can drink with these.
I don't think so.
Me.
Anyway, we'll see what we'll come up with.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
So, yeah, I can't drink with my antibiotics.
Technically, I can't either, so it worked out.
Period. Here we are. We'll still be fun, I swear. You don't need to drink to have fun. But anyways, so I'm just having kombucha and sparkling water.
I'm basically just having sparkling water.
Yeah.
So continuing the thought process.
But in a positive way.
In a positive way. Let's turn it around.
Yeah.
For all of us here listening, and, you know, if you felt victimized by our
Have
our
you
words?
been victimized by losing your passions?
Facts.
Raise your hand.
If you have felt that, it's not negative, but it's kind of just like a realistic way to view things is like nothing is ever permanent.
Yeah.
You're forever, like, the situation's going to be forever changing. And there's so much peace in that. Even though, like, change feels so chaotic all the time, it's kind of nice knowing that, like, you're never going to be stuck in one place all of the time. At least, like, not mentally.
Like, the transition's not always cute or fun.
Definitely not.
Sometimes it is. But, like, that's just part of the journey. And if you're going to romanticize your life, you got to romanticize all of it, okay?
The ugly, the bad.
Yeah.
All of it.
Come on, Euphoria, you tell me that's not a little romanticized sometimes, and there's some bad stuff in there. Look, I'm not referring to the really dark stuff, okay?
Just the
Just
medium
play.
dark.
Like the play stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we just thought we would kind of hit you with some solid tips, which we kind of did already give some advice.
Yeah.
But in general, I found a website, which I'll link it for you guys if you want. I don't really know who they are, but I found it and I think it's helpful, so why not? Their number one tip was to take a break.
Always true.
So true. Sometimes not feasible, but even if you took like a 5-minute break. I kept saying that shit yesterday. I was like, Mel, take a break.
Yeah, every time you're feeling like it's too fucking much, you probably should take a minute.
Yeah, exactly. And number 2, set different goals within your passion. Interesting. They said,
does that mean like qualitative versus like quantitative goals?
No.
Oh.
Well, I mean, it could be, but it says watercolors is what you do, but maybe it's time to take a class on oil painting. So, like, your passion is art or painting, but try a different medium or...
Right. Just switch it up a little bit.
Yeah. 3rd, contemplate why you started.
Wait, back on the other one.
Okay.
The reason I thought it was like qualitative versus quantitative, like, if you're so focused on like numbers being a thing, focus on like how something is expressed or like how something makes someone feel versus like I'm thinking like if you're like a content creator or an influencer of sorts, or even like owning your own business, like you're thinking about the number of like how many people view something or like how much money you're making versus like how something is making you feel while you're creating it or how you impact someone else who is watching. Like, it doesn't have to be the masses, but one person can respond to you and be like, I really enjoyed that reels you made. It made me feel something. You know what I mean? Like,
oh my God, yeah. That just happened to me.
Really?
She could have been being fake, you know? Like how those people comment so that you'll comment on their stuff, right?
Yeah.
Could have been fake, but she was like...
I was like, can we stop doing that?
I know, I'm like I'll comment on stuff genuinely, and someone comes back and comments on like my post from 3 weeks ago, and I'm like, I didn't comment, so you could comment on my...
Like, I really don't care if you comment or not.
Especially when it's just like heart eyes. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay.
It's
like,
meaningless.
it's... Thank you. Like, I see what you're trying to do for me here. But it's
But
not
I'm
necessary.
good.
It's not necessary. Anyways, got it. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's also valid. Contemplate why you started.
I think that goes back to like the feeling thing, the qualitative stuff versus the quantitative. You know what I mean?
I mean, it also says kind of what you're saying about the dance thing. The dance thing you were saying, like, it says those other activities may not provide the same kind of emotional fulfillment as your core passion itself. So, like, maybe not necessarily, like, let's say dancing in the club versus going to a dance class, you know what I mean? Like, still dancing, but one isn't the same emotional fulfillment as the other. Do you know what I mean? Like, why'd you start teaching dance classes or something, but you teach hip-hop? But, like, the whole reason you loved dance was because you were learning dances and you would nail it and you were like, fuck yeah. But as a teacher, you're not doing that.
Got it. Okay,
you know
good.
Like, yeah. Like, why'd you start? Was it to be dancing or was it to teach people to dance?
That's a good point.
I don't know. I'm just making up examples. Tap into your sense of purpose, which I feel like this is the hardest one. Like, what are you talking about?
Like, I feel lost. Why would
Sounds vague.
How do I do that? That's vague as fuck.
It says that your purpose ties into your motivations, lucky and then to have a strong why behind your goals. They feel cold or they feel cold. They can feel day takes place with fire, burning and then burning again. It is something you can distancing yourself from other responsibilities or pile up these habits, and it's easy to get pulled using a sense of purpose.
Period. Yeah. I think that one's like hard to identify because like it's just a lot. Like that's a lot of pressure almost.
I think I would start with the easier things on this list.
Yeah.
For you, whatever they are. And then get into like the...
Wait, what did it say in the beginning?
Of the paragraph?
Yeah.
A sense of purpose ties in with the feeling of motivation. Some people are lucky enough to have a strong why behind their passion.
That part. I just feel like that is so... Sometimes I find like that's a very like negative thing to say. Because like, I mean, some people are really lucky and they just get to feel like this immense like... Calling. But other people who like don't necessarily have like one calling, it's like... It's really hard to be in that place and see other people and like people reiterate this like you'll find your thing, and it's like what if I don't? What if I just like have so many things that I want to try, you know? And it's like, I don't know, can we stop like this narrative of like it being this one thing because it's fucking overwhelming.
I think it's like trying one thing until you find the thing, even though there is a lot like for us there's a lot of different things that we're interested in, and for some people are lucky enough to have a strong why behind one thing. But, like, maybe it's just part of the process of elimination.
But I just also feel like it's impossible to everybody just have one specific thing.
Not forever.
Yeah.
Which we've talked about. But maybe the calling is, like, one specific thing.
Yeah.
At a specific time.
That's fair.
Maybe even though we feel lost as fuck, we're in that calling. Like, you're meant to be, your purpose right now in your life is to be lost and be... going through it because it's going to take you to your next purpose.
I mean, that's definitely true.
Yeah.
I always have faith in that, but...
So, like, I think that's hard when you're treating your passion as your job. So, like, you already kind of do. But schedule time in for your passion maybe is more like how days we have creative days and they're dedicated to doing something creative.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I also think, like... I feel like I've spoken about this multiple times, but, like, there's this book I read about, like, how... I don't know what it was called. I can't remember, but it was like teaching you how to be creative or like how to be good at something. And it was like I feel like a lot of creatives really like wait for like the feeling to like of creativity, like to really embody them. And then they finally like create a piece of art versus like just doing the practice itself. Mm-hmm. Like even when you don't feel it. Yeah. I think that's also really important in like the scheduling aspect. Like if you are a creative who's like a painter or does like physical like artwork
or whatever like, your passion is,
whatever it is,
physical.
Like for example, for a painter, like you get up every morning and paint something regardless of like just like you don't think about like if this is going to be good enough. It's just like you paint to paint. Mm-hmm. And then over time, like the creative... I think people like who are creative don't necessarily see their creative brain as like something to like exercise as a muscle, but it is, and like you should probably be doing something consistently so that when the time arises that you do have a fucking amazing thing.
Why are you screaming at yourself right now?
Rude. But like having that consistency with yourself so that when an idea does come out, you're number one better able to execute it because you have practice and it's not just like an idea that could like you don't know how to execute it, you know?
Yeah.
Or 2, like, it'll just come. Like, maybe one of those days you wake up and it's just, like, there. You know, like, you finally just put it through.
It just makes me think about the structure of high school, and, like, you had to go to that class every day, every other day, whatever your schedule was. But, like, you had to do it. Like, whether you wanted to be in art class that day or not, you did some shit that was whatever. Or if you wanted to be in ASB that day, where you want to be antisocial or not, you had to be a leader that day regardless, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, God, I loved the structure school had, but it's the same thing. Like, structure is everything.
It's all about,
and it
like,
sounds counterproductive.
Habits, really.
Yeah.
I think people feel the most lost when they don't have any habits that they can rely on, or, like, scheduling. I guess, like, habits, yeah, that they can rely on and work towards.
Yeah. And even if your thing isn't, like, focused on creativity, but, like, advocacy or whatever, like, there's volunteer stuff you can make a habit out of. There's all sorts of things that you can make a habit towards whatever your passion is, or whatever you think your passion is. Next thing, focus on the positives. We said that a lot, I think, in the first half. Like, but then I reminded myself that blah 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 blah. Like, this is positive.
Mindset is really everything, honestly.
Yeah, like, even though it was a hard week, like, we accomplished something.
It's definitely difficult to create, like, positive thought patterns when you feel so negative, but again, that's also a habit thing to do. Like, creating a habit of turning things from negative to positive, or not even negative to positive, even just neutral. Neutral statements in your head can just make a world of a difference. It doesn't have to be positive, in my opinion. I think as long as you can be neutral about something where it's not bad, then you can move forward, you know? Because I think, like, toxic positivity does exist.
Yeah.
So at least creating a neutral statement for yourself.
All right, next thing. There's 12 things, by the way, and we're on number 7. Try something new. While it might also be that your passion for a particular thing has run its course. Oh my God.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
That's in bold. I don't know. It just says burnout is one thing, but maybe you've been doing something that brings out your passion a long time and you needed a break from it and can get back to it at a later point. But what if that doesn't work? Well, maybe your passion has run its course. Maybe it's time for you to try something new and different altogether. Maybe it's time to set the passion aside and look for new experiences.
That's also a good point.
Try something different.
I think you can learn a lot from something that you don't know at all. And, you know, it's either like, oh, no, I'm actually really good at the other thing and I actually really do enjoy it, versus like, I don't like this new thing I'm doing. Or like, you can combine the two, find a new passion that, you know, creates a bond between those new things, the new thing and the old thing. Or you can just like go towards the new thing because it feels actually better for you in that moment.
Looking for a change of environment. That's like pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Just change it up. Do your thing somewhere else. Don't get sucked into competition if you don't want to. I think that's kind of what we said about comparison.
Definitely.
Like, just hold back on it. Accept that your passion might not turn out how you envisioned. I'll read some of this so you can... Sometimes our dreams don't align with reality. In fact, it's probably true more often than not. Your passion may be something you had a clear picture in your mind, but that picture didn't necessarily line up with reality. That disconnect can drain and kill passion pretty quickly.
Period.
Real world example. Let's say Sally is passionate about animals. She loves animals.
Okay, Sally.
She wants to be going to veterinary science to help animals. The unfortunate part of an animal lover going to veterinary science is they deal with watching animals suffer all the time. Furthermore, they may be called upon to do things like putting to rest abused animals that are beyond saving. They have to deal with people who don't value their pets as living creatures, but as possessions. Okay, it's getting a little too deep right here.
That's real, though.
That's sad. It says that some things that people don't consider when they have a passion or feel moved to some sort of career. And that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm at urgent care, getting my strep shit situation, and I'm like, I respect these nurses so much. Like, I care about all these people in here that are suffering, but like, I couldn't sit here every day for work and watch people suffer. Like, I would be like, I want to hug all of you, but also get away. Don't touch me. You're probably ill. Yeah. Totally. So it's a good point. I think this one is a good one. Avoid turning your passion into your identity.
That is a big problem.
It's like, I'm a painter. That's it.
I mean, I think there's like an extent to everything, you know, because I feel like
it says they lose it by turning it into their identity. They lose bigger pieces of themselves or fail to continue personally growing. Instead, they throw all their energy into the passion and neglect nurturing the rest of their person.
Fair enough.
They have an example. Another one. Valerie wants to be a scientist. She wanted to be a scientist since she was a little girl. She loves everything about the process of science, the knowledge, learning, the nature of the field. She throws herself totally into it. She's constantly studying, whatever. She spends so much time working to be a scientist that other parts of her life are neglected. She's not exercising or eating well. Finding hard to find time for that when she has to meet deadlines. She's not nurturing her friends or building relationships. That takes time. She just doesn't have it with all her work responsibilities. She's focused on her passion for years, which makes her professional life taken to great heights, assuming everything goes as she hopes, but maybe it doesn't. Maybe she gets burnt out. Maybe she hates the publish or perish competition that's involved with securing funding, or maybe she gets stuck with a medical issue that heavily interferes with her ability to be Valerie the scientist, and she can't be a scientist anymore. Passion is wonderful, but it can't be the only thing. Passion won't replace all of your other pieces of being a human being. That passion won't be reliable for the rest of your life. It may wax and wane, it may decrease. External factors you can't control may upset your ability to pursue your passion. Then what?
That's fair as fuck.
Like,
I feel like when you start to embody the one thing, it literally neglects all of the other aspects of yourself. Like, not even just like friends and family, but like other things that you actually enjoy. So like,
yeah,
I guess that's a good
trying
thing to
new
reflect.
foods, cooking.
I think it's a good thing to reflect on of like, if you were not able to do the one thing that you call your passion, who are you outside of that?
Yeah, it's a good question to ask. Don't ask me that right now, but that's a good question.
I can't answer that right now
This is
either.
a good question.
But once you like think about the things that you either want to be outside of that thing or like what you want to work on, go towards that. I feel like that's a big aspect of, I think also while you're nurturing the other things and kind of like lessening the grip on that passion, you might find that your passion starts to grow again. I would assume,
because you're feeling happy and positive about
everything's
life.
starting to like balance, you know.
Yep.
Try that out. Let me know how it works.
Love that idea. The last one was talk to a mental health professional.
Correct.
So
always correct.
It's a good one. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, we're all literally just trying to live our lives and find our passions, do our best, and we have other podcast episodes about those topics, but this one specifically is just like kind of a life update, like what's going on. We're feeling a little lost,
like I said, just a life update, and I like literally cried. I love that. That's how life is going for me.
It's a life update. Yeah, it's so beautiful, isn't it? But like, that's the thing, be positive. Like, one day we're gonna look back on this episode or this time in our lives in general, regardless of it being on the internet for everyone to see, and be like, damn, we got through that, we built something out of it, whether it's what we're thinking right now that it's gonna be or it's something else. Like, if you don't have that positivity and that mindset and that motion to move forward, like, you're just gonna be stagnant.
Yeah.
And you're gonna sit in the feelings of being upset with yourself. And for what? Just don't get stuck. That's all I'm saying.
Keep moving in some aspect.
Even if it's a neutral forward.
Yeah.
Put it in neutral.
Negative.
Put it in neutral, dude. Hopefully this episode just like you could resonate
a little. If you do a lot, we feel you.
Yeah.
And just know that like this state that you're in is not a lone state. There's a lot of people who definitely struggle with what we're talking about. I don't know, just like encourage you to just try something else. Because you know, it really sometimes is just like what's happening right now isn't working. So just like loosen the grip.
Push yourself in a little bit of a different direction.
Yeah. We'll see you guys next week.
We hope your week is positive and beautiful and full of opportunities.
Look for them because they're there.
Yes. What is yours will be what? What is yours will always be yours. So just keep doing you.
We'll catch you guys next week. Bye.